Okay, so today we're diving into a really cool, kind of radical idea. What if? What if all of history's biggest spiritual symbols, the ones we think of as totally separate, were actually all part of one single story? A story that's been hiding in plain sight for, well, centuries.
Yeah, really think about it for a second. What if all these ancient religions we see as rivals were not rivals at all? What if they were just reflections, different ways of telling the very same story? We're going to follow the breadcrumbs of one researcher who thinks he's found that exact connection. And that researcher is Corey Graham. The quote you're seeing here is really the heart of his discovery. After digging and digging, he started to see this single story woven through everything. And the story was this: wisdom's light coming down into our world, into matter, all so that we, humanity, could finally wake up. So how on earth did he get to that conclusion? Let's unpack it.
All right, our first clue comes from a pretty unexpected place. We have to go all the way back to the 12th century, to a mystic named Hildegard von Bingen. And it all starts with her very unique idea about how to heal the soul.
Okay, so for Hildegard, everything hinged on this one beautiful concept she called viriditas. Think of it as the greening power of God. It's that spark, that life force, that divine vitality you see in a new leaf or a growing plant. She believed it flows through everything. So for her, healing wasn't about medicine, it was about plugging someone back into that divine energy.
And she had a whole process for this, a 4-step healing spiral. It's actually pretty logical when you break it down. Step 1, moderatio. You gotta balance the body first, right? Diet, rest, the basics. Then, motus. You get out in nature and you move, you stir up that inner life force. But then comes the really critical step, number 3, melodia. Using music to literally retune your soul. And finally, meditatio, where you just rest in silence and let all that divine harmony sink in.
And I really want to land on this point about music because for Hildegard, this was the whole shebang. She believed that melancholy, what we'd probably call depression today, was literally the soul being disconnected from that divine harmony. So music wasn't just, nice background noise. It was a tool, a therapeutic tool. It was how you retuned the soul, just like you tune a guitar string that's gone completely flat.
Listen to how she put it herself. Music is the echo of the celestial harmony. Just think about that. For her, it wasn't man-made. It was a faint signal, an echo of the divine order that holds the entire universe together.
And get this one. She also said, the devil flees from music, for he cannot bear joy. Wow. So it's not just about healing, right? It's about actively fighting back against darkness. It's about restoring light and joy where it's been lost.
Okay, so a 12th century mystic and her healing music, what does that have to do with our big story about hidden symbols? Well, fast forward a few centuries. That same ancient idea, restoring divine harmony, is about to become the key that unlocks a much, much bigger pattern.
And the spark for this whole thing, it came from a single verse in the Bible. It's a story about the Queen of the South visiting King Solomon, but it's the last line that changes everything. And behold, something greater than Solomon is here. Now that phrase just wouldn't let go of our researcher. Think about it. Solomon was the symbol of wisdom. So what in the world could be greater than Solomon?
The answer, the key, was one word, Sophia. It's the Greek word for wisdom. And when you look at early Christian texts, you find something fascinating. They call Christ the power and wisdom of God. And that's the light bulb moment. Jesus wasn't just a wise teacher talking about wisdom. He was presented as the living, breathing embodiment of divine wisdom, of Sophia itself.
And once he had that key, the Sophia key, everything started to click into place. Suddenly, looking at ancient art from totally different cultures, a pattern just leaped out. It was like they were all, in their own way, drawing the exact same thing, this powerful current of light.
Okay, let's start in ancient Egypt. Take a look at this. You've got the sun disk, the Aten. But notice, its rays aren't just lines of light. At the end of each ray is a tiny hand, and it's reaching down to give the Ankh, the symbol for the breath of life. It's literally divine light reaching out and touching the world to give it life. How cool is that?
Now hold that thought and look at this from much later Christian art. Does this look familiar? It's the hand of God, coming out of a cloud of light, reaching down to bless creation. It's almost the exact same idea, the same visual language. A divine hand reaching down from the heavens.
Okay, now let's jump across the world to Mesoamerica. And here we find the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl. Think about what this being is. It's part sky, that's the feathers, and part earth, the serpent.
And how is it always shown? It's descending, coming down from above, acting like a living, breathing bridge of energy between the sky and the ground.
So, let's put it all together. You've got the Aden's hands in Egypt, the hand of God in Christian art, and the feathered serpent in Mesoamerica. The thesis here is pretty mind-blowing, right? We're talking about completely different cultures, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, all using the same fundamental geometry to show the same thing, a divine force, a consciousness, descending from above to connect with our world.
This all leads to the big idea, the grand theory that ties all these threads together. And it has to do with the how. How does this light descend? The theory points to a divine feminine principle, something that acts as the bridge.
I mean, the logic is actually really simple when you think about it. Electricity needs a wire. Water needs a channel. A current can't just exist in a vacuum. So this descending current of divine light, of wisdom, it would need some kind of vessel, some kind of womb to actually enter our physical world.
And that's what we find across so many traditions. This vessel, this channel, is almost always represented as a feminine principle. You can call her Sophia, wisdom. You can call her the Holy Spirit or the Mother of Light. The name changes, but the job description, it's always the same. She is the bridge that connects the mind of heaven to the body of the earth. She's what allows the unseen to finally become seen.
Okay, so we've connected a 12th century mystic to Egyptian sun gods and feathered serpents. Why does any of this matter to us right now? Well, because it completely changes how we look at the world. It shifts the whole conversation away from religions being rivals and towards them being reflections.
When you look at it this way, a few big things become clear. First, maybe all these religions aren't competing, but are just using different languages to talk about the same deep truth. Second, it suggests that the divine hasn't been silent. It's been communicating with us through every culture all along. And third, and this is huge, it restores a part of the divine that has often been muted. The feminine principle, the channel that makes creation possible. That balance of father and mother, of word and wisdom, that's the very same harmony Hildegard was trying to heal people with all those centuries ago.
And that brings us to the very end. The source material for all this leaves us with one last, really powerful question. And it's not about the past, it's about right now. Because if this theory is right, this current of light, this descending wisdom, it isn't just some dusty old story. It's happening right now. It's an ongoing process. And so the question for you, for all of us, is this. Light always returns, and when it does, it asks only one thing. Will you see it this time?